Hey everybody, welcome. This is Tom, and this is part 7 of building a web server using Python and Flask. Now, in the previous video, we looked at loading static files, which in our case were these images, and we just made it so there's a random image being loaded each time we load the page. This right here is giving the programmer the ability to tell the user what image they're going to look at. Now, how do we give the user the ability to pick the image they want to look at? Well, there's one way we can do it, and that's by playing with the routes a bit. So you might have been on websites where you could do things like, /6 or something, and it would load the sixth image or whatever, and you could just keep changing this number up here, and it would load a different image each time. We can actually modify our routes in Flask so that it can collect that number right there, and then it will give us the sixth image of our set. So how do we do that? Well, we modify the route over here to say that it is expecting an integer. I'm going to call this integer, I'm going to call it photo, and I'm going to pass in photo right here. Okay, so this photo and this photo are going to be the same thing. And just to show you that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print out photo inside here. So if I do this, I hit enter, you notice that it does change, and if I reset and refresh the page, it's really still doing my random stuff here. But the thing is if I come over to my terminal window, you'll see that each time it is printing out 6. So it is actually getting the 6 from the browser, which is exactly what we want. So now I need to take this photo and I need to put it inside here. But remember, this is an integer, and this is when we print it out, it needs to be a string, right? So if I go ahead and delete my random int from here, and I put photo inside there, then if I run this, let me go ahead and just refresh that page. Every time I do this, it's going to be the same 6. But if I change this to a 2, I'm going to get something like that. If I do a 1, I'll do something like that. But if I do 100, it's going to say, well, you don't actually have that image. Okay, so you might want to go over here. You might want to actually check if the user has actually selected an image that is in range. So we could very easily do that. We can just say if photo is less than 1 or photo is greater than 9, then what we'll do is we will render image 1. Now you might have another image in there that says like, sorry, this image does not exist or something like that. But in my case, I'm just going to always put out image 1 no matter what happens here. So let's say the user does 100 again, it will end up doing that. No matter how big this is, it's going to always spit out 1 if I haven't actually put in a valid number. But if I do put a valid number in, if I come back to being 3 or something, it'll give me that correct value. Okay, so you can see how you can pass variables in through the URL itself by using the routes, and you need to make sure that you have the variable actually in the function definition itself, and then we can go ahead and use that variable just like we normally would any other variable in Python. All right, so I hope that helps you understand how you can pass variables in through the URL. If you have any questions on this, leave them in the comments, and thanks for watching.